Hey, how's it going? Ron here. Just wanted to get you a quick little update. The other day, Zach and I recorded a quick little video that was, I don't know if you saw it or not, but in case you haven't, it was a quick little video that said that Zach is in the process of mixing some older Widetrack music. And so I wanted to give you a little bit more information on that because this is a development that's just kind of come up in the last week or so. In 2009, the second Widetrack album was released. It was basically 2010. It was like New Year's of 2009. Fast forward a couple years, and I had finished what was a whole other album. And at the time, it was kind of a pretty heavy, emotionally kind of album. And I decided against releasing it. So for those of you who are not familiar with when our albums came out, not that that's a really major point of importance to a lot of people, but our second album was released in 2009, and our third album was released in 2018. So there was like 9 years of no music being released. I finished the second album and then just kept writing, and I had finished another album in 2012, but I didn't release it. I've just been sitting on it for like 10 years almost. And so when I was writing for the third album, I kind of had like another album that I wrote before the songs that became the third album. And those two albums, I just sat on them. And so they've been sitting here. I just never got them mixed. And I've thought about putting out certain songs through periodically, and some of you have heard me play some of these songs in my live streams, but I never, for one reason or another, never released these albums. Well, I've talked to Zach about this, and Zach's going to mix these albums, and he's going to play on some of, probably most of the stuff, but all the other tracking is done for the album. The music's finished. All my vocals and drums and guitars and everything else are done for these albums. I just never got them mixed. So, you know, it's kind of like one of those things where when releasing these, it doesn't feel right to say, hey, this is our new 2021 album. That was something I always got hung up on. Like, these albums are older. But it just so happens in that 9-year gap that we have in our album catalog, we'll just put them in there, in the real place of where they were written. And while we're doing all this, Zach will be mixing these songs, and then I'll get them out there and we'll announce it. We're not going to make a lot of fanfare about this. It's not, we're typically more concerned with looking forward, but we do kind of feel at this point like, hey, you know, these songs do fit in the catalog, and they're good albums. Like, I think what really sold me is going back, and like, I haven't really listened to this stuff in a long time. I went back and I was like, why didn't I ever release this, you know? So I'm kind of excited for you to hear, and maybe it kind of gives a clearer picture of where going from the second album to the third album and what was happening during that time, and musically it gives you a more comprehensive idea of Widetrack. But more importantly, Zach and I are working on the fifth Widetrack album, and we basically set a deadline for ourselves for when Zach graduates high school, and that is summer of 2022. So we're looking at a year and a half, perhaps, to write and record a brand new album. And one of the things we really want to do is make it sound better. Like, we're pretty proud of the way our albums sound, but we think they can be better. We don't have a ton of money to be spending $100 an hour in the studio, which things are cheaper these days that everybody owns their own recording equipment, as do we. But you can't replace the expertise of a real studio engineer. And so Zach has been learning how to do that, and he's improving by leaps and bounds. And I think you will hear that with the new song that we have coming out soon called Virtue. That I am so excited for you to hear that one. It's quite a difference in recording quality. And he keeps getting better. You know, Heretic, the most recent thing that we've released, that was an improvement sonically from The Unawakening, which was our most recent album released on his birthday of April 2020. That was Zach's first try at recording any music ever in his life. And I thought it sounded pretty darn good, but we both think, well, hey man, that was your first stab at this. Of course you're going to get better. And man, is he ever getting better at it. So the new song Virtue is coming soon, and it indicates where his recording skills are headed, and we're both really excited about that. Anyhow, just wanted to give you a little information about all this music that's coming out. Over the next couple of years, you're going to be flooded. Hope you don't get sick of us. You're going to be flooded with a lot of Widetrack music. So just to recap, we've got an album coming out this year that will be all songs from the post-second album period. Not long after that album, we will be releasing a pre-third album. So these will be a 2012 and 2015 to kind of go in between our second and third albums. And then at the end of 2022, Zach and I hope to be releasing the fifth Widetrack album, the newest, brand new Widetrack album that we're going to be really just pulling out all the stops to give our best and reach further than we ever have to bring you a musical experience that hopefully we'll all be pleasantly surprised by. As always, thank you for your support. This is awesome just having this for the two of us, but knowing that you are receiving this and supportive of it the way that you are, it just takes it to a whole new level. It's just, what a blessing. So thank you so much. More to come. This should be really exciting. We'll talk to you soon. Hit me up. So let's say hey. Take care. Talk to you soon.